part of the thing that we hear folks that talk about stories like help you tell your story. But the problem is we need to figure out a way to weave in where the folks that we're wanting to serve see themselves in this story. What's the trick?
Well, I'll give you a wonderful example because it's one of the best examples that I saw from my time at Hasbro on how we would influence an audience and get them to adopt an idea as their own or relate to it in very personal terms. So we were charged with selling more of the game Monopoly. Now, if you know the game, you know that Monopoly is bought once for $15 and it sits in a game cabinet for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So we were trying to figure out how to drive incremental sales. And we worked with our global insights team and they gave us a ton of insights, but we found one that was basically from an article, a headline from an article online. Poll, 50% of people cheat when they play Monopoly. So our first slide to the organization, there were 45 people in the room, was those words. That was it. And what happened was brilliant. 45 people started talking about experiences where they cheated or somebody else cheated. And it became very personal to them very quickly, meaning that idea was adopted and imprinted into their minds because they related to it. The very next slide introduced Cheaters Edition Monopoly, which came out, a year or so ago. But the idea was very simple. We were encouraging people to get away with the behavior that 50% were already doing and 50% weren't. And we even introduced if you get caught, so there were, these cards or whatever to try and get away with during the game. And if another player caught you, we added a handcuff to the go to jail space. So you would literally get cuffed to the board. But the whole thing was generated by the idea that we got the people in the room, our audience for this discussion, to latch onto that one insight and make it their own. And therein lies the rub. If you can understand the fact, I was telling you, everything I know is from the movies. If you can understand the fact that an idea in the movie Inception was described as being more contagious than any virus and more addictive than any drug, because once people adopt it as their own, they can't extricate it. They cannot get rid of it. So what we would do is focus on that, relatability, making them understand what the result was or make them think about what the solution is before we would even introduce it. And that became sort of the guidepost for what I do now, showing businesses that whether it's a new business pitch or whether it's just a marketing presentation, it doesn't matter, showing them how to tell their story in a way that's going to get their audience to understand it by page 1 or 2 so that the audience is bought into the rest of the story.
Hey, thanks for watching these Golden Nuggets. And as a reward, I got another big fat Golden Nugget just for you. I wrote this book for you to help you get your act together online so you can grow your business better. You're searching, you want to learn. This is a great book. Grab the book, grow your business.
Amazing, right?